Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get risque every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Here we go, baby. Tuesday, welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Talking a little bit about Game of Thrones and the fact that it was not well received by its core audience. 49% was the score on Rotten Tomatoes from this episode this last week. One more week is left. So, which I'm kind of happy for because I'm kind of, I'm nerding out on this show. And so it's a time occupation here. Like, I got to get my time back in my life.
When it's gone, you'll be able to focus more on Kev.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Instead of the mother of dragons.
I'm investing way too much time in this silly show. So I'm going to be kind of happy for that.
It makes you happy. It's like your craft beer. You gotta, it's all distractions, baby.
Well, the problem with it, when I probably this season's when I really kind of first started to get into it, started to look at some of the nerdy stuff, and they were pointing out little subtle things that is just kind of somebody who just watches them and doesn't, dive headfirst into nerddom. I'm like, wow, that's cool. I never picked up on that. That's kind of neat. So all this kind of stuff was like, wow. So I finally started to kind of get into some of the significance of it. And then I'm starting to realize, okay, I guess maybe all that kind of stuff I thought was so cool really didn't mean anything at all. So it was just kind of there because I was expecting so much. What happened to me, I got into it and I thought, wow, when this happens, it's going to blow my mind. I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, crazy. And it's happening. And you're like going, wait a minute, my mind's not blown. I'm just confused.
Either way, though, it's fun distractions you need in life.
Sure.
Those kind of things.
Yeah.
You gotta debate dorky things and have dorky things in your life.
I'm even kind of enjoying just watching people bitch about how bad it is. So.
Exactly. It's all part of the whole ride, baby.
Yeah.
Even with me hating Star Wars, the last one, that it's all part of the ride.
That's it. So I'm kind of even enjoying that. Greg in the 772 said, I would be definitely interested in a KVJ post Game of Thrones podcast, kind of like you guys did for Star Wars. I know that Kevin and Jaybird are watching the show. Not sure about Dennis. Just wanted
he's in it.
Throw it out there. Maybe you could have some emails from Nationers about the opinions of what went on and such. Yeah, I think the only thing is just trying to figure out when we do it. It's tough already to watch the show for me. Like, if I've done it both ways. I've either woken up really early before the show to watch it, or I've stayed up and watched it and then tried to work my sleep schedule a little bit. So
we should just do it on that Monday. That Monday afternoon, come over to my place and we'll bang it out.
I like that. Yeah, I think maybe next Monday we'll do that. We can sit down and we can have emails and all that kind of stuff.
Love it.
And check that out, give our thoughts on it.
Do we want our own mother of dragons there, Virginia?
I'm busy.
Virginia, just come over and nap.
You can sleep in my dad's bed.
Or heckle.
Yeah, or heckle. So anyway, that's a good suggestion. We'll probably do that next week. Another one, Pamela had said, I heard you guys talking about Killing Eve. Can't believe you haven't seen it yet. Wait one more week to have the complete second season out. It is fantastic, smart, funny, and cool show. No BS. Please watch it. We need the Kevin Jaybird commentary on that one. Maybe I'll pick it up. I think I'd heard just some of the reviews. I think my wife was saying, first season is kind of slow. It's, so I don't know. I was a little hesitant. I know Jaybird really wants me to get on Cobra Kai, so.
Big time.
Yeah.
I want Virginia to get on Cobra Kai as well, but she don't fucking listen to anything I say.
Yeah.
Just like every other woman in your life.
All you women.
Let's see here. Susan sent an email. Said, my husband and I are into these forensic file type shows, and last night decided to watch this new one called Buried in the Backyard on Oxygen.
Ooh.
She said the show started out by showing a little downtown square in Logan, Ohio. Story about a couple of teens murdered in the cornfield in 1982. Super interesting, but thought of young Kev and the daytime trick-or-treating that was a result of this mayhem.
That's your story.
Yeah, this is so close to him growing up. Yeah, changed my town forever. Took away our innocence. Yes, it's a crazy story. Yeah, they've done a lot of specials on it. And I moved away before they really got the conclusion. That was a big part of it. It was like 25 years. We never knew. And so there was always that, who did it? Was it the stepfather who was a butcher, which, seemed very convenient because the bodies were dismembered and buried all over the place. Was it somebody had said that a Satanist motorcycle gang had been in town and that they did it? It was a human sacrifice. Ooh, that was spooky. And then they just didn't really know. And it turned out it was just two guys who were on drugs and got really hammered, and saw them out they were out studying in the field, and they took them and
that's terrible.
and just murdered them. Yeah. Ugh. And then they called the police to let them know they had, and the police lost the message.
Logan, get it together.
I mean, seriously.
It was not a great advertisement for our law enforcement.
The police work in that town really needs a little upping.
Yes.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. They're too busy chasing me. Yeah, that was a notorious thing when I was growing up. There was a cop, his name was Donnie Shaw. And so he had a major hard-on for catching Mullet Kev. Because we were always out toilet paper and innocent stuff, but we'd always vandalize. And so
let's focus on the guy toilet papering, not the two guys murdering.
Yes. No, they really said vandalism is turning this town upside down. A couple murders here and there, not a big deal.
Donnie, get it together.
Also talking a little bit about violent teachers. Got an email here from Eric. Said, back when I was in high school, I had multiple teachers who would throw books, erasers, and even desks at students when we got out of line. I watched one of my classmates get lifted off the ground by his throat and held there until he passed out for cussing out a teacher.
Oh.
Small town living isn't for everyone. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, in some of these small towns, they just, big city stuff, I think, is a little bit different because somebody's going to call it out. There's going to be a big uproar. And
you
all
have
this
someone
stuff
to answer to.
Yeah. In some of these small towns, it really is. It's craziness. I mean, I was with somebody one time. It was one of my softball dads. Daughter played on my team, and he was telling me a story. He was growing up, Hills, West Virginia, back in the middle of nowhere. There's this guy, it sounded just like a movie, like a Roadhouse. And the guy owned the local bar. He ran the police force. He had the lumber mill that was in town, and this bar, like a Roadhouse kind of thing. And this one guy had apparently had some money, and he couldn't pay him back, and this and that. And so he's talking to this guy, and the guy's like, all right. He's like, I will cut you some slack, but this is really about it. So then another guy comes in, and he's like, going, you know what? I owe this guy some money. You better give me my money. And the guy's like, I don't have it. And he punched him in the face, and he's like, going, you know how I just forgave your debt? And the guy's like, yeah. He pulled a gun out from underneath the bar, goes, bam, shot him right in the head. He's like, oh, well, you know what? It's canceled. And they took him and they threw him out in a creek in the back of the bar, and his body just washed down the creek. He's like, I was just sitting there like, holy shit. And the guy ran the whole town, so there was no one to answer to.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Judge, jury, and executioner right there. I was like, that's insane. So... yeah, some of those movies about small town justice, yeah.
What was that one story you were telling us? It stuck with me. I forgot to look it up. You had it out in the Everglades where two guys cut that woman's head off and held it up. You had a story, that Florida story. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, Lizard, they gave it to Lizard King.
Do you remember that? He freaked us out. I do not remember that one.
Yeah.
There's got to be so much murder out in the Everglades that no one ever finds out about.
No one hears the screams.
It has to be that way, right? All these missing bodies.
They got to be somewhere.
There got to be somewhere.
Yeah. There's something about that. Yeah, it's crazy. Let me see. We got Ruthie here with a message to Nikki from a teen mom. Nikki was on our KVJ Court today with her husband, Daniel. And Daniel had taken their 15-year-old daughter after she came and talked to him about, wanting to get on the pill. Took her to the doctor and got her on birth control. And Nikki was not happy that she was not consulted about this and thought this was a mutual parenting decision. And Daniel said, look, I'm doing this because I know you would have flipped out. You don't believe in this. And our daughter knew it. That's why she came to me. And, Nikki's like, look, I believe, in abstinence, and I'm telling my daughter not to have sex. And, I'm just, not. I guess basically Daniel, the husband, and the daughter just didn't feel like she'd be cool with it. And so, I think there were some people that really didn't like the fact that they hadn't involved Nikki, and that doesn't seem like the right play. But then it is kind of tough if you're a parent and the other partner and your partner is like a roadblock for what you 100% to believe to be better for your kid, and they're standing in the way, what are you going to do? Are you going to not do anything or do whatever that might wind up with your kid in a bad situation?
Well, it's one of those do or die moments, too, because she's telling you she's going to be sexually active. So now you either help her and you protect her, or you do nothing and then you put her in harm's way, possibly. When she asks for your help, you have to give it to her.
I know everyone always says you gotta, you know, united front. You gotta tell your mate everything, but yeah, I've seen it before. One person really does come unhinged with any little thing, and people are afraid to go to tell them anything. It happens.
That presented a really tough situation, because I do believe in that too, and I believe you need to be on the same page together. But yeah,
in a fucking perfect world, that's all great,
right?
Yeah. So I guess you can see why there was a little tension in that household. And Ruthie here said, I'd like for you to relay this message to her. She said, I grew up in an extremely conservative family. Their values based on Christian beliefs. In my home, abstinence was the only option. And if you dare have sex before marriage, to hell you go. I could not go to my parents and talk to them or ask for advice. I even went to private school where the topic of sex was avoided instead of educated. And then when the raging hormones kicked in, I didn't know how to embrace these feelings in a safe and healthy way. I got pregnant at 16 as a result of my very first sexual encounter. I was pregnant with a child, and I had to be responsible for another human life before I knew what oral sex was, and before knowing what masturbation was. I didn't even realize I was pregnant until 3 months in, because I didn't understand my body or what to even look for, and I was too scared to tell my parents until I was already 4 months along. I'm thankful that this experience became a reality check for my family, and since then they tried to be more open and really stood by me as a teen mother. But now at 31 years old, I have a 14-year-old son starting high school next year. You better believe we talk about everything, from sex to porn to supporting masturbation in a private and safe environment, because it's healthy and normal. I want him to know how to be safe and how to be healthy, and in this day and age, how to always make sure to respect women and never let his hormones put a girl in a position she doesn't want to be in. These are all important things we need to teach our children, and as parents, we need to listen more and be thankful when our children want to talk to us. Now he has his first girlfriend, and though he may not tell his mom every detail, I did get to squeal like a schoolgirl when he told me about his first kiss, or tease him endlessly about how sweaty his hands get when they hold hands, and I feel like this is a great start to open an honest relationship with my teenager. Best of luck to Nikki, Ruthie.
Oh, that's a good email.
Yeah, that is. And it is very true. You know, I mean, going back to the Footloose days and stuff like that, you ever seen a movie like that? You know, and I grew up very much in that kind of environment, too.
He was in a lot of dance. It was illegal.
Yeah, I mean, you think as a joke, it's crazy. There are some places that are like super strict, you know, and I've seen that, you know, firsthand. And the first church my parents took me to, they were kind of that way. You know, it was kind of stuff you're like, whoa, that's crazy. And yeah, it was too much of it was repressed, you know, and they were too quick to, you know, label people sinners. And I think that was the kind of stuff that really kind of gave Christianity a bad rap back in the 80s and stuff like that. And I think hopefully a lot of, you know, Christians today, I know I'm one of them, where it's like, you know, we're trying to change it a little bit. You know, the whole dialogue of what's going on around the religion and everything it's about, because I don't think that's at all what it's supposed to be.
The 80s gave a bad rap to a lot of things.
It did,
It really did, man.
Yeah, it did. Well, they got to this way where it was like, no, that's awful, that's the devil and whatever, and nothing was handled realistically. You know?
As soon as you want to make something cool, especially for younger people, tell them you can't listen to it. Try to censor it.
Ban it.
Yeah, good luck with that bullshit.
Yeah. So it was tough. So you're definitely handled the right way, and I think the way that you should. So best of luck to Nikki and Daniel, and hopefully they can come to a place where they get better communication going on in that family and are supportive. Billy sent an email, said, it's about Jaybird's dog Chewy. I have an interesting story about the breed. Blue Heelers and Australian cattle dogs are the same breed, just known as blue heelers in the States. There's also red heelers, which are typically blondish in color.
Yeah, they are the same dog. I know people were calling in saying no.
I have family that own a ranch just outside of Cody, Wyoming, which happens to be in the middle of grizzly country. They have cattle and horses and such, and sometimes bears will wander down onto the ranch that need to be scared off. They have and always will own healers due to the dog's fearless nature and protective instinct. Healers are a favorite breed out west in bear country because they're one of the only breeds that will stand up to a full-grown grizzly. My cousin's husband has seen his dogs run up to a full-grown grizzly and bite it in the stomach and then run back. They'll do this until the bear runs off.
Wow.
That's why I love Chewy. Chewy is so protective of me. He will growl, and he doesn't care how big a dog is. He'll bow up. My dad said he got into a terrible street fight in Texas. Got attacked by 2 dogs, and Chewy's got a big scar on his the side of his snout area.
Damn, Chewy's hard.
Hard as fuck. I'm sorry. I'm trying to clean it up. Hard AF.
Hard AF. Yeah.
Hard AF.
So there you go. Got a good dog over there.
I love those kind of dogs. That's the breed I always want to get for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. It's another crazy story. I know kind of going on that. Did you see the story? They found the body of a woman who was missing for 6 years in a freezer at a warehouse in Margate.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yikes.
What the hell kind of warehouse was it? Did she work there?
Scrap warehouse.
Was she involved with the warehouse?
I don't know. It's a 35-year-old woman. The dead woman's father said that he hadn't heard from her since Thanksgiving of 2013. Cops are now investigating the death to find out what was going on there.
What's her connection?
Yeah.
Was it random? Somebody put her in that place and she had never been to that warehouse?
Yeah, this was just kind of the basic first story that they have on it, but yeah.
Crazy.
That's another one of those. Dang, it is, yeah. That's some real crazy stuff. So there you go.
At least her family has answers, though. That'd have to be the worst.
It is.
Last time you heard from your daughter was on Thanksgiving many years ago, and you're like, I have no idea what happened.
The no answers, and then the wondering if they're going to come back. It's just a big roller coaster.
Yeah.
At least you have closure.
Yeah, I think that's it. You just, I mean, as awful as it may be, you're just like, okay, now I have understanding.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about, some people don't want to know the details about their loved ones. Some people said they needed to hear details because they didn't want to wonder anymore. They wanted to know. And I think I'd be that way too.
Worrying, are they going to come back? That's weird. That's just you can't sleep at night.
Well, then there's always that one story where someone's been gone for 20 years and they come back, so you hold on to you hope to that story.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that would be tough, but another fascinating story. Let me see here. Got this. Stephanie from the Pizzle. She said you guys were talking about salaries that might surprise you. She said, my husband was working for a big grocery chain. You guys had mentioned that, yeah, you can make some good money there, but just to let you know that sometimes these grocery chains and these companies can pull you in. He was working 80, sometimes 90 hours a week, really wasn't seeing his family. And he had 2 mini strokes by the age of 38.
Oh, my gosh.
Are you blaming all that on the grocery store industry, or?
Just saying, I think the work hours that you had to do and, what was required of it, you can fall ill due to the demanding work hours and poor lack of sleep. The more they ask from you. And there are some places that do. They have ridiculous demands of their employees, which aren't healthy. You're right. You got to get out. You got to, disconnect from your job a little bit. Then you got to have enough time to sleep. I mean, if you want to have an effective, charged up, power-packed employee, that's it. And hopefully a lot more businesses are starting to realize and recognize, okay, we want people to come in here and, kick ass for 8 to 10 hours a day, but then go off and, reset your brain, get some good sleep, and then come back in ready to do it again tomorrow.
We wish. I wish it would be like that.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. But I think more and more people are starting to realize that and trying to take that on and, hopefully a better work-life balance. And there are some places where, I've even read that, whether it be like Google or a place like that, where people just go in, they realize for 2 years they're going to go into Facebook and they're going to sleep on a cot and do nothing but work pretty much around the clock, make good money, and then bounce out and do their own thing and then chill and take the money they made and, start a life with that. So
that's cozy too.
Yeah, you take it in the nuts for 2 years and then go make it happen. So, that's kind of what a lot of people say. Talking about making some money in a weird way. Boy, I'm telling you, the video game thing, if you got a kid like me that plays probably way too much Fortnite, there's a 16-year-old boy in Massachusetts. He's an eSports professional, and he expects to make a minimum of $100 to $150K this year.
Just from playing video games?
Yep.
Wow.
He takes online high school courses so he can dedicate more time to his gaming. He plays an estimated 10 hours a day in his $20,000 gaming room.
Wow. It's a different time, baby. It ain't Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Fortnite is his favorite, and he's competing in the Fortnite World Championship, where first place gets $5.5 million.
Oh, my gosh.
Fortnite World Championship. I mean, that's more than, I think Tiger got like 2 and change for the Masters. I mean, you're talking about more than double a golf tournament, which golf already is a high-priced, high-money sport.
Right.
You're making more than double in the Fortnite World Championship than you do in the Masters? That's been around, what, over 100 years?
Yeah, it's an institution.
Wow. I mean, that is crazy how quickly and how fast, gaming is exploding and where it's going. That's some nutty stuff.
How many people? Is it one purse for the Fortnite thing and they all split it? Or is that what the winner takes
just
home?
One person. I don't know. It just said 5.5 million. Let me see. It says first place gets 5.5 million.
Wow.
One person gets $5.5 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, I heard that nearly 2/3 of millennials are living paycheck to paycheck.
It's a big gap.
It is a big gap, isn't it? Dang. From a kid that's 16, a minimum of 100, 150K. And then imagine if he won that thing, 5.5 mil.
Wow.
You're 16, you start off like that? That's crazy. And they say that 59% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, with 60% of Americans wondering how their friends can afford expensive experiences that they see posted on social media. There is something about that. Yeah, and so often I think people are like putting up trick photos. They're like finding a fancy car and taking a photo by like, oh, look at the ride I just took. They say some 48% of millennials and 41% of Gen Z admitted that they've spent more than they can afford to be able to participate in experiences with their friends.
It's all about experiences, man.
That's it, man. Quality of life. But
It's all about
not enough
looking
money
good
for
on the
it.
gram, man.
It is.
People are faking shit just to appear more interesting. Gosh.
Yeah. Welcome to the world today. They say the new Instagram trend right now is under boob. Cleavage is out, under boob is in, and that's where basically like the bottom eighth of your tits hanging out.
Wait, what now? What?
Like the swimsuit comes up to like here, and the bottom of the boob is sticking out.
You
Not
don't show
this
the top.
part.
The top's covered. Now you're just showing the bottom part of the boob.
Okay, so we're doing the bottom cleavage. That's the new thing.
That's it.
Under boob.
All right. I'm in.
He likes it.
Okay. Yeah, they say as for colors, neon is the color of the summer. That sounds like very 1989. Neon.
Very
Yeah.
Pacific.
OP, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Did you wear OP?
Oh, big time.
Me too.
Big time.
Did you have it too?
Oh yeah. I had so much OP, like hot pink.
Yeah.
OP, did you wear Keds?
Yep, I had kids.
Yeah. I remember we came down for spring break to Lakeland to see my aunt, and I stocked up on some body glove and took that shit back to Logan and blew their mind.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, how did this guy get this stuff?
Oh, I mean, look at this.
Oh
Yeah.
man, he's gonna get out. He's gonna be the one that gets away.
Yeah.
And you are. Look at you.
Yeah. They couldn't believe it. I was.
You fancy.
Oh, I was a fancy kid there strutting around for about a week. It's big stuff. And I don't know if you got any summer plans locked up, but SeaWorld Orlando is doing what they can now that they got rid of the orcas, right? Aren't the killer whales gone?
I think they are.
Yeah. So they got to figure other ways to get you there. And they're desperate because they're offering free beer.
Oh.
Yeah. From May 25th to September 2nd, guests can enjoy a free beer at SeaWorld every day from 10:30 a.m. That's awesome. Until 1 hour before the park closes. If you stop by the patio bar next to Mama's Pretzel Kitchen, you can receive one complimentary 14-ounce domestic beer per day.
Can I bring a bunch of disguises and keep coming back?
That's totally what I would do. Could I get a cerveza?
Oui. I'm here for the beer. You have like all kinds of disguises in your bag.
Except each time you come back, you're slurring a little bit more. Yeah, that might be what it is.
It'd be fun just to see if you could pull it off once.
Yeah. And then see what happens. So there you go. Some fun if you're going to a SeaWorld in Orlando this summer. Go check that out. Jaybird, you said you got a birthday invite This is pretty awesome, but you're petrified to show up. Where's this birthday going to be?
Oh, man, like downtown Miami, like on the 15th.
What?
The 15th story.
Gonna
Whose
be like
birthday?
Brickell?
One of my buddies. You ever met Tyler? I played baseball with him.
Is he cute? I only remember the cute ones.
I think you think he's cute. He used to go to Dirty Martinis sometimes. He's got this big old thing. I'm like, yeah, man, I just don't do the high rises too much unless it's for work. He's like, really? Seriously? I'm like, yeah, you're still afraid of heights? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm still afraid of that.
It's probably worse.
Yeah.
So he's just, is he like...
I just don't think people, if you're not afraid of something, people don't understand it or get it.
Right.
You know, if someone's not afraid of heights, they think it's ridiculous that I'm afraid of heights or...
But yours is unique. I think you're the only person I've ever met that has a phobia of buildings. Like that really it's a panic
large structure
disorder
area, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
It
panic
is hard to
disorder for
relate
them.
to.
Yeah. I think you are unique. Now, I know people that are afraid of heights, but that usually encompasses different things. Like, you know, I'm afraid of heights too, but I can go up in a skyscraper.
No,
and
you're
have
completely
problems or
right.
look
No,
up at it.
a fear of structures and large buildings is a rarer type of fear. It's not one that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
Some people do have it, but it is rare.
Right. So when you say it,
People think you're lying.
yeah.
I really never thought I was that afraid of heights, but this weekend we went to the Rapids.
Yeah.
And we went on one of the really, you had to climb all the way to the top.
Yep.
And I had Rocco and Mags, and I kept like holding on to Rocco like something bad was going to happen, and I was kind of freaking out.
Well, you were afraid for his safety and knowing what the heights were and, how slippery, Rocco can be that, maybe he'd slip away from you. Because
It was
when
making me feel weird in my stomach, though.
Okay, well, that's a sign.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can handle heights, but I think you're up on a large structure, there's wind, you're looking out there.
I'm looking at all the bolts going, are these things really structurally sound?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
inside your head. It's totally fucked, man.
I took Cannon out there. We were there for the premiere of The Brain Drain, and I had to crawl on my hands and knees up the last two things. That's when,
Oh, the brain drain's the tallest, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I look like an idiot. I was like,
I was the same
and I
way.
was dedetermined to get Cannon up there. He's like, what is he doing?
I was doing the same kind of shit. I was crawling up like this, like a baboon. And people are like, what's wrong with that guy? Like, I'm scared of heights. All these little kids are around me, walking up, doing it like it's no problem.
Kids are walking up backwards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what people are trying to figure out. So there you go. All righty. Well, thanks for locking in here today. Appreciate you. Anything you want to drop on us, you can. Mail at kvjshow.com, mail at kvjshow.com. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.